You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello. Welcome back to Blame Your Brother, episode 297. John, we have just 3 episodes left after this one, and we are donezo for good.
Donezo, finished, kaput.
I have talked to Lee. He will be here for episode 300. At this point in time, it is happening. So, but, we still have a few episodes to get to. If you're like, what's going on right now? You're listening to Blame Your Brother. If you're listening to a podcast, if you joined us live in the chat, thank you. We are doing this live on YouTube every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time until the end. So come hang out with us. Be there for the final days. It's kind of like when the Nashville Sounds closed out their old ballpark. They had, it was a big movement in Nashville. It's like, come out and be here for the final game. Be here for the final episodes.
That's
come
what I'm talking
on,
about.
do it. Anyway, we are Blame Your Brother. There's 2 of us that come to you. I'm one half of the duo. I am David, a.k.a. D-Brew, Glenn Jackson, Spiritual Midget, Great Value Anderson Cooper, and this gentleman sitting over to my left, it is the one and only, it is John.
Hey everybody, John here, a.k.a. Tico, a.k.a. Mr. Groupon, Mr. PTI.
They got John Tortorella, a madman. They do. Okay, he's a madman.
Jumped the gun. I got those buttons mixed up. All right. So we took off last week. I had some illness in the family. Dude, it is a wild time right now. Everyone is sick. Like every child, is sick. Everyone's sick. So I did not want to come up here. I was helping. My wife did not feel good, and I didn't want her watching the kids by herself. I didn't want to come over here and be like, here you go. Here's an illness. Let me give it to you. So
I appreciate that.
So, we took off, kind of delayed when the last episode will be. That's okay. So, we got some things to talk about tonight, John. It's been what a week in the world. What a week. What a time to be alive. I know we say that often, but we had the midterm elections. We're going to get into that. We've got chaos just happening at Twitter. I don't know how familiar you are with what's going on at Twitter with Elon Musk, but it is. I mean, it's unbelievable. So we'll definitely get to all that. We've got to talk about what happened in our lives as well. But then we also tonight, I'm very excited about this one. The best or most impactful TV show endings. If it's the old days, we'd say the Mount Rushmore of TV show endings. We'll just call it the
most memorable. Yeah.
We'll just
biggest
say
impact.
They're fine. Best of, worst of, whatever. It's a list of impactful TV show endings, and there are some great ones to talk about. Some of my favorite shows. Some shows hit, some shows didn't. So we'll definitely get into that. So if you are ready for that, skip halfway through. If you want to hear us talk about the entire world, let's get started. All right. So John, what's going on with you lately?
Well, started a new job. Been a little over a week. I'm enjoying it. I'm still getting my sea legs, as it were, but I'm still with Marriott, but I'm just moving. We're in a different hotel, a bigger hotel. There'll be more chances for moving up, and things are moving along. I'm excited about it, and yeah.
Good deal. Well, yeah, I'm the same way with you. I've started a new position, so it's just a lot of learning. I love knowing things, and so sometimes when you're learning something new, there's that initial panic.
Yeah, no, I'm right there.
But I've always said, and I will tell everyone I ever train or work with, and if anyone's listening from work, I'm not talking about you, but if you start a new job and you're overstressed, just look around the office and find someone that's less intelligent than you, trying to be nice here, and go, if they did it, I can do it. And that's been always my philosophy whenever I went somewhere. If they can do it, I can do it. So that helps. But, it's tough when you go somewhere and you want, and I'm sure for me as well, I just want to be competent and very good at what I do. And being new, it's just these weird feelings you have. So hopefully you enjoy the job. It sounds like it's going to be a good thing for you. More money. I think throughout life, people should probably try at least maybe not an entire new job. I mean, that would be great if you could do that, but at least different positions where you work at or different. It just keeps it going, doesn't keep things stagnant for you, and boredom sets in and apathy, and then you're like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I do that enough as it is, just with cosmic sense of life. I don't need to do, which I have done it before, a job. What am I doing here? What is this real? I mean,
yeah.
I guess if you could go back, redo things, obviously.
I'm sure.
I
Unless
would.
you're the happiest man in the world,
Right.
You would do things differently.
And I'm just talking job. I'm not talking anything else, but definitely I would not I mean, anyone that knows me, I'm not doing the things in life I want to be doing career-wise.
Yeah.
I don't know who is, truthfully. I don't know if I've ever met anyone that said that to me. You know, I've met people go, yeah, you know, I like my job, but I've never had anyone come and go, I am doing the thing that I was put on this earth to do, and I love to do it.
The last time I remember somebody saying anything like that was years ago. Ravishing Rick Rude, Sting, and somebody else. I can't remember.
What is that?
We're on not Sally Jesse Raphael.
Okay, go ahead.
The lady from Mama's Family, Vicki Lawrence Schultz.
Okay.
She had a talk show on for a very short time.
She did? What?
And Ravishing Rick Rude said that this is what, I mean, he couldn't imagine doing anything else.
Okay, well, yes.
Which was weird coming from someone that is a heel character.
Right.
But it was just like, this is my life, and I could plan it better.
All right. Well,
and so it is rare, but you're not going to find.
Well, actors, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm talking.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's how rare that is.
I know that common.
And that clip is so flipping old.
But I'm talking about common dudes, man.
I know.
Yes.
I brought that up to reference that.
I was hoping you were going to say, I worked with this old janitor. He was 70 years old. It's what I was put on this earth to do. Which, I mean, you know, you don't know.
Everybody's made to do something.
Maybe you were put on earth to do something you don't like to do. You know, you don't think about that. No. So what if you're great at something, but you hate it? Like I can't imagine being an accountant. Like if you were like, what is the worst job you could do? Like if you literally said trash man or accountant, I would be like, I will go pick up trash. Honestly, accounting seems like the most boring job. Now I know people that do accounting. I have friends that do it, but to me, that just no, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it would probably not be good. It just would not be good. So anyway, hopefully y'all have a job out there at least you can tolerate. So yeah, so you're enjoying the new job. Halloween happened. Everything. I mean, I don't have any real stories about Halloween.
Nah, not really.
Kind of a dud.
Emily was a princess. Asher was a pirate. So
there you go. I could say. So I have a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 4-year-old. And the 4-year-old was Elsa, I believe, a princess. And my middle child went and hung out with his friends, and he was nothing. And I literally was like, oh, my God, my child is walking around on Halloween being nothing. I feel like I was a failure because I've always said, do something. I don't care if you trick-or-treat until you're 20 years old, honestly. I'm one of those people, I'm like, good. I mean, rather do that than do some crazy stuff, right?
Yeah. Just
put some effort into it, man. Put on a football jersey or something. But my teenage son actually went with my daughter. It was kind of sweet. Now I know, you know, you got to appreciate these moments because you know he's 14. It's probably done. You know, it's not going to be much longer. And
yeah, it might not happen next year.
Right.
He might want to go to a party or something.
Right. But my middle child, I mean, come on, bro, just put on a Jason mask or something.
Yeah.
And I will say, one of the great things about Halloween is the day after Halloween is going to the store, 75% off at Walmart, brother. Let's go. I mean, I'll buy things because, you know, I film skits or film little videos, and sometimes having those props, just having them is kind of what I may never even use them. But, you know, you can get a demon mask. I got like this skeleton mask for like $1.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, you know, maybe I'll use it next year. Who knows?
There's somebody I used to work with would throw a party the week after Halloween.
That's a good idea.
And that's what they would do is the object was to go out and buy a costume afterwards.
Right. Now, I got a lot of candy this year that I've been eating. I mean, my daughter got all the candy, but she doesn't really eat candy that much. She likes lollipops, suckers, and things like that. And I've just discovered as I get older, like there's a lot of Reese's left in the box now. And I used to say, hey, man, Reese's is one of the best candies there is. But you know what? I can have Reese's any time of the year. I like odd candy as I'm getting older now. Yeah. I'm like, what is the candy like I don't get during the year? That's the candy I want in the box, you know? Like, I love Whoppers. I know that's some people hate Whoppers. They love Whoppers.
You can have them.
I'm team Whoppers all day. Not many of those in the bag. I'll always eat those. But like Swedish Fish, the little Sour Patch Kids. I'm getting this out. I'm like older. I'm like, I like chocolate, obviously. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I don't, but some of that sweet and sour stuff, I'm here for it. Because I just don't eat much. I don't have like Skittles in the house. Yeah. So, you know, if you get a little bag of them. So, you know, that's something. So what else happened? Well, I just want to remind everyone that I went and gave blood, and this is something I try to do more often. And I understand we've all got excuses for why we don't do it. Some people can't do it, which that's fine. But I just make excuses because I find, like, I went and gave blood this past week. And I do a lot of that because my mom, who passed away, would always give blood, like, on the regular, like, constantly. And so I was like, well, I'm going to do that more often. And I've done it a couple times, but I need to do it better. But I went, and I've noticed that, here's the thing. If you go in there and the people drawing your, and I have great veins. Everyone I ever went to is like, you have great veins. But man, I've gone twice now. This is the second time, maybe the third time actually I think about it. And I don't think they're getting the injection good, and my blood's not flowing fast enough. And it's just like, it's a bummer, like, because you got to stay there extra long, and then they start adjusting the needle, and it doesn't feel great. I'm not like crying, but I'm like, okay, this stinks. So, but I mean, you can make excuses for whatever. I'm just saying, if you can give blood, because that's something literally when we say it could save lives. No, that literally, that could save lives. So that's just my push there. I also want to give a big shout out. So Sunday, I'm going to be going to a benefit show at 3rd and Lindsley. Jen Starr Sennick, who was on the show, great artist, one of my favorites, is part of Girls Right Nashville, which I think
Becky Warren was too, at least for a time.
George English was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's a nonprofit. They work with teenage girls. They help them kind of gain confidence.
Hone their craft.
Yeah, hone their craft. But it's confidence building, and teenage girls, and that's a rough period of life for girls. I've never experienced it, but I've talked to women, and it's not a fun time for women. For girls transitioning to women, and so it kind of gives them confidence, but also gives them skills to write and mentor, and so that's what they do. And they go into public schools and they kind of help kids. And music has been shown to help children learn. So I love this organization, Girls Right Nashville. I always donate to it. So this Sunday, I'm going to go check it out. It's at 3rd and Lindsley. If you don't have plans Sunday night, it's $30 for general admission. There's going to be a ton of artists there. Annie DeRusso is one of the big names that younger people might know, and Alana Royale, Moni Wilkins. There's going to be some great artists there. So I'll be hanging out doing that on Sunday. Just if you don't have any plans, you're in Nashville, you know where 3rd and Lindsley is, stop by. All the proceeds are going to go to help implement programs into the Metro Nashville Public Schools. And if you've been following the world news, public schools they need all the help they can get.
Yeah.
Especially here in Tennessee. So other than that, man, it's like I said, everyone's been sick. So I have not gotten sick. I don't know how I avoided it this time, but hallelujah. My wife was sick. Daughter was sick, son was sick, other son, mother-in-law. Oh, man, it's like dodging bullets in the Matrix. It's like, so I don't know, cross fingers. But anyway, let's talk about what's happening in the world. So, John, you voted, right?
I voted on the day.
On the day.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about that then. Midterms happened. Election day was this past Tuesday. Now, a lot of Republicans were predicting a red wave, a red tsunami.
They did not get that.
No, they did not. They got the opposite of it. I mean, they did terrible. They underperformed. Now, a lot of people, and what happened, Jim?
I am thoroughly surprised that they even thought.
Well, here's why. Historically, the other side gets a lot of seats at the midterms. I mean, in 2018, Trump lost 40 people. Yeah. In the House. So, I mean, it happens. Like, that's generally what happens because people are nitwits or, whatever.
The thing is everybody's unhappy about something.
But it's like
they blame the party of the president. And so.
Yes. It's silly.
Yeah.
To me, it's dumb. I mean, I'm going to vote for the other. I would never go vote for the other side because I'm like, the president's Republican. I guess I'm going to go vote Democrat. John, it blows my mind that people. But I'm learning, John, that people are they're all over the place. But they didn't do very well. Now, they're probably going to take control of the House, the Senate. I don't know, man. It's probably going to be tied. So, victory for the Democrats. But here's what happened. These Republicans get out here, and the first mistake was Roe versus Wade. I'm telling you right now. In Michigan, they polled people, and they said, what was the biggest issue as a voter? 40-something% said abortion was the major issue. They showed up in droves in Michigan.
Yeah.
You dum-dums. You can't go attack an entire group's rights, whether you agree with them or not, and then I expect there's going to be consequences for this. My thing with the Republicans, and everyone knows where I stand. If you know me in real life, you know where I stand on it. They don't really at this point, whatever this party is at this point, they don't really have a clear mission statement. I don't really know what it is. Like, we're going to fight inflation. Okay, how? Well, I mean, just to fight it. Brother, you think it's that easy? I just don't understand that no one thinks that all this stuff isn't happening in the globe.
No.
But anyways, look, I mean, I've been guilty of thinking that in the past, so whatever. But here's what I'm asking. We'll get around to what happened to Trump on Election Day. But you mentioned at the beginning, you voted on day of. So my question would be, why do you vote on day of?
Oh, no, it's just what I did this year. It's just when I had a free moment.
I got you. Okay. So normally you vote early if you can.
Yeah,
okay.
I would vote early if I could, but
I got you. Well, that makes more sense.
The kids were home and so I had just that's the opportunity I had. I had a dentist appointment, so I just stopped by there on the way home.
Makes sense. That's perfectly fine. I don't understand I don't understand, John, the boomers that complain on Election Day that the line's too long to vote. Yes, you could have voted for 2 to 3 weeks prior to this thing happening where there is literally no line. I early voted. I was in and out in 2 minutes max. It took me longer to read the ballot than to do anything else.
Same for me too, though.
You know, but there were long lines this year. And some people said, hour and a half, I'm not waiting. Would you have left an hour and a half? Now, be honest.
Probably.
Okay. I'm at the point now I would wait 6 hours to vote. I mean, that's where I'm at. I think it's just too important. I understand the past. I probably would have said, dude, hour and a half, I'm out. Like, I'm not doing this. I'm at the point now I just think only a third of Tennessee registered voters vote. Pathetic. It's pathetic. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's sad. It's sad. So Governor Bill Lee was reelected. Duh. Like, I mean, I would have bet everything in my life that he was going to get reelected. But the problem became with District 5, District 7, and now I'm in District 5. I don't know what district you're in. Did you vote for Heidi Campbell versus Andy Ogles, or did you vote for Odessa Kelly versus Mark Green?
Mark Green and Odessa Kelly.
All right. What they've done, what the Republicans done, and I know Democrats, they're both guilty, but I'm talking about in Tennessee, okay? I don't live in other places. Republicans have gerrymandered the districts to capture as many Republicans as they can in large Democratic areas. So I'm in District 5, brother. I'm in Spring Hill. Why am I voting with the Nashville people? Does that really make sense, honestly? Like, it's kind of weird. And it's like a weird, like someone says almost like a T-Rex shape where I'm at. So Heidi Campbell was the Democrat running where I live versus Andy Ogles, who lives in Columbia. He is a MAGA Republican through and through. Ted Cruz came out and supported him. He's been very vocal that he supports Trump, and he won. And so that's where we're at. Am I happy about it? No, I'm not happy about it. And I was bummed out election night. I'm just going to be honest. I was bummed out. But then the results started coming in. And John, you know what one of the greatest moments in life is when you are in the right and you own people with statements they've made in the past. I make TikTok videos. I made this one, and it was kind of just a goofy video. I just said something about the blue wave. Okay? I had every MAGA Republican on there going, I'm saving this video. They said this in the video. I'm saving this video, and when the red wave happens, I'm coming for you. I said, okay, well, you got to take your medicine, right?
Yeah.
Bro, when I watched the news that night, the next day, I went back to that video, and I hit up every one of those people. And I said, where was your red wave at? It never came. And once again, because they really have nothing they're offering people. I mean, honestly, what do they offer? So if you're a male white, sure, you probably love them. Like if you're a Christian white male right now, the Republican Party is the party for you. But in Tennessee, I'm just telling you, they call teachers stupid. They're trying to gut the public school system. They're banning books in public schools. And here's the thing about it. And these are the debates I have, John, every day now. This has become my life, okay? This guy on Instagram was just debating me. And he said, have you seen these books? Have you seen these books? And I said, brother, you're picking out one book you guys found. One book. It's like 0.01%. and you're making it like it's a 90%. If there's a book in there that doesn't belong, I think we're all going to get together and go, should preschool kids or kindergarten kids be learning about sex education? I think the majority of it is people would go, no. You know, like, I mean, come on. I think the majority of us would go, okay, let's get rid of that book. Democrats have done that. The Dr. Seuss book that was racist. All right, we're not going to remove every Dr. Seuss book, but if that has Asian stereotypes in it, yeah, it probably doesn't need to be in the school. They act like this is a war being fought. Your boy, Matt Walsh, went on Joe Rogan podcast. I couldn't even believe this. I honestly thought, John, I was having a fever dream. I thought maybe I was sick. Matt Walsh went on Joe Rogan, and he said, do you know how many transgendered people are on medications? Joe Rogan asked Matt Walsh that, and he said, I don't know, millions. Joe Rogan goes, millions? He said, I don't know about that. He goes, well, let's check it. Matt Walsh goes, I don't know if there's stats. They come back and found it was 4,000 people in the entire United States. Do you know our population? It's like 500 million people that live here. Okay, I don't know how many of those people are teenagers, but if you just said 500 million versus 4,000, that's 0.5%, 0.05%, I believe, or whatever. They act like this is a global issue being fought. I don't understand it, but I think it's just a tactic to, you attack ideas that aren't really that big, but people really get fired up about it because they're like, people hate, we talked about the job earlier, people hate new things. They hate, they hate transitioning into new things. And so the idea that society is changing and these transgendered people are coming for your kids and they're going to make them read books. And it's like, bro, just chill out, man. They're not even that, they're a tiny part of the population. And all they want is equal rights like everybody else, which I thought was the entire point of the country. And we can have conversations about it, but if that's what you run your entire platform on, I'm just confused about it, John. And these people, these Republicans are starting to come out and say, well, you know what? I don't know about gay marriage. Maybe that needs to be illegal. And I went, bro, I don't even know where we're at anymore. So that's why I think the Republicans didn't. I don't have anything else to say that would make any sense as to why they did. They should have taken over the House and the Senate. So
I don't think it's just about that. I think there is a real culture divide for people like me who still kind of somewhat lean right, but cannot get behind your Trumps and your Ted Cruzes and Marjorie Taylors and
Lauren Boebert.
Yeah, I can't.
That's fair.
I can't deal with these people.
So what do you do? What do you do? Because
you vote left when they're being nutty, and then when there's someone that comes along that makes sense that aligns with you, that's when you go ahead and.
But where is that in Tennessee? Do you have these candidates in Tennessee?
The one that I voted for that was right, and it was just based on they wanted to raise the other person wanted to raise property taxes, and so that's the only reason I voted for that one.
Here's the thing. I want to talk about Trump just real quick. Trump is losing this week. And I think the Republican Party has finally started to go, why, I guess their philosophy was we had to associate ourselves with this guy to win. And I've said before, I will lose 1,000 times if it means sacrificing principles. I think principles, some principles don't matter, but I think at the end of the day, when you're lying on your deathbed, that's going to be the only thing that matters. I don't know. I mean, I'm not on my deathbed, but I would imagine as I get older, I look back at principle moments more than how much money did I make? How much did I do that? Did I win it? And they tie themselves to a guy that's a lunatic. I mean, I don't know how else to put this to people. I still can't believe that people are defending Trump. I cannot believe. I've never been one that. If I'm with someone and they start acting loon, I'm out, man. I'm not going to defend a guy when the ship's going down. Like, if I'm on the Titanic, I'm looking at the ship captain going, dude, you screwed up, man. I wouldn't be going, well, it's like, no, bro, you sunk this ship, okay? Trump has essentially sunk the Republican Party at this point. And now we're at a stage where it's him versus Ron DeSantis, and it's watch the fireworks. He's going out saying he has personal information about him that he's going to release. That is what that God, kill each other for all I care in the social media world. I don't really care. I think it's hilarious. But that's where we're at. So Trump is losing this week. And he can announce he's running. I think the party's done with him. I honestly do. And I know he's still got a few cronies out there, but he's sinking. But we got to talk about Elon Musk real quick. Elon Musk buys Twitter. Now, have you aware of any of this going on?
I knew he bought Twitter, and I know he's not happy. I think somebody made fun of him or something, and now
Let's start that.
Yeah.
I want to start that story, and we'll get to it real quick. So he goes, man, I'm buying Twitter. It's going to be just free speech, brother. It's going to be whatever goes, comedy. You can do whatever you want on here, man. There's no limit. It's
no holds barred.
It's like the Master P, no limit soldiers on here, man. You do whatever you want. All right. That's fine. I mean, personally, I don't subscribe to that. I feel at this point that, and I saw this is me speaking. I saw with Donald Trump that this could be bad. You could spread bad messages on social media, and you have to be held accountable for it. But some people say, hey, say whatever you want. Let the dice fly. Okay, sure. If that's what you're using Twitter for. That's not what I'm using it for, because some people said, are you leaving Twitter? I'm like, I follow a lot of political people for news sources, so I will not. I mean, if they leave, I'll leave. I would leave. I mean, I don't really talk with anybody on there hardly anymore, so I don't. I honestly thought there's some really great political real-time news on there. If that was to go away, I'm out. But anyway, so no rules. So the verified people, okay, so if you don't know, on Twitter, and this is where the big story happens, if you're verified, it means you are a important person that deserves verification, such as news, like famous news people, celebrities, just, whatever, famous reporters. So, anyway.
To prove that you're really you
Yes.
when you are in the limelight.
If you're a news source, probably they want to verify you, right? Well, these verified people start getting on there and they start changing their name to Elon Musk and start tweeting out like hilarious stuff. And they change their picture to Elon Musk. So when you're looking at that Twitter feed, you see a picture of Elon Musk, you see the handle, because you can change your name, but your handle doesn't change. But you see the name is Elon Musk, and they're writing, I'm a big dum-dum, I'm a big crybaby, or whatever. This dude gets on there and starts banning people, brother, banning them immediately, and puts out a thing and says, you are not allowed to impersonate any person, especially me. If you do, you will be permanently suspended. Well, bro, what happened to
what happened to anything goes?
What is this comedy, bro? This is comedy gold. This guy, John, you could take my 2 teenage children, almost teenage. You could take my 2 sons. I do believe this. You could let them run Twitter right now. They would be doing a better job than this man's doing. I can't even understand. I'm confused why he even bought it. I really am. I'm genuinely, I think it's related to the election. I really do. I almost feel it's related to something overseas as well, because there's Saudi Arabia's got money invested in this.
Yeah.
I'm sure you go deeper. I'm sure Russia probably has some money in this. I don't know. It's weird that he would do this. This is failing. Dude, people have left. Advertisers are leaving. So now he's introduced this. If you join Twitter Premium, which is called Twitter Blue.
Oh, great.
For $8 a month, you get a verification badge on your name.
Ooh.
And now you get on there, and if you click on it, it'll take you to another page. It tells you whether it's real or whether it's paid. But who's going to do that? So now you just got people out there. I saw a dude yesterday. This dude's name, this handle was, I remember it's because his name was David. David SM8, I'm going to make up the number, 6948643 was verified. I went, what are you talking about? And what's happening is someone made a fake Adam Schefter, who's an NFL. So they made a fake Adam Schefter account. They paid the $8 and put out some fake NFL news, and everyone bought it because, people are dumb.
Verified now.
Well, people are dumb. They don't look, you know. And there's fears that you can get on there as pose as a political person. Like you could say you're Donald Trump, or there's somebody made a fake Ron DeSantis one and was tweeting out stuff. And Elon Musk, so he laid off all these people. Then he emails them back through email, by the way, through email. Not in face, not a phone call. Basically, you went in, you logged in. If you were fired, it told you an email. That's a great way to do business. Then the next day, he's like, oh, we got to get those guys back. And basically, we're like, no, we're not doing that. So he put out a thing today. A bunch of senior employees are leaving because they're saying there's no security measures in place for your DMs. So if you are, I'm sure no one verified listens to this show, but if you're a verified user and you got DMs that might be bad for you or other people, you're probably screwed. I mean, you probably want to get rid of those right now. I don't know why you wouldn't have prior to this, but this is a problem. I mean, this is a massive problem. This could have blackmail implications, extortion. There's no telling in the depths of those DMs of fame. There's no telling what's out there. Mm-hmm. And this is how Elon Musk is doing. Why is he doing this? I don't understand it. So he basically said, if that subscription model does not take off, the company's done. He literally could have killed Twitter, which I've said before.
Good.
At one point, that was my favorite social media site because, like I said, what it did, man, it brought, and like I said, to me, it was primarily news, like breaking news. You could have literally, I mean, when the Boston Marathon bombing happened, you could get on Twitter in real time and watch it happen. You were getting the full story, videos, people there on the ground. You're getting election news. You don't even need a television. You could just get on Twitter. You can follow who you want, make your list, do whatever.
Watch football games on Twitter.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, did it become an echo chamber of sorts? Of course, but I think that the smart people knew that. You know, I didn't go in there and go, I want the real news. I didn't say, no, I want my side news. I want my biased news. It was great for wrestling and sports and everything. It brought communities together. And this nitwit, who we've talked about on the show multiple times, and I always say, I just don't understand. He's confusing to me. I don't understand him. I've said this before. Kanye's fallen off the crazy train, right? Is this guy, somebody tweeted out, I think Jessica who said, are they having a contest to see who can lose the most money? Is this a bet they're having, Kanye and Elon Musk? Because they're giving verifications to white nationalists, like Richard Spencer, if you don't know who that is, he's a part of the white nationalists that did the Charlottesville. They're verifying those guys. It's a mess, man. And we could have a discussion about censorship and all that. But I want to remind people that free speech is not a private company being told they have to do something. That is not what free speech is. Free speech is the government not being able to prosecute you for what you say. You can't tell, and we've talked about this before, and this is the big one. The cake maker didn't have to make the cake for the gay wedding couple, and Republicans loved it. And hey, look, I don't know where I stand on that. I'd really have to think about that. In theory, I don't like it, but then again, it's a private business, so where do we draw the line? I feel that's a little discriminatory, but I don't know if that's been outlined in title, whatever it is. But you can't tell Twitter, in this case, you can't tell Twitter who they can let on it and who they can't, you know. And so Donald Trump is still not on it. And he's even worse because if he gets on it, he's going to have to admit that Truth Social's a piece of garbage. So I don't know if Donald Trump will ever come back to Twitter. This guy, Donald Trump, is having just a bad week, dude. I mean, most candidates he picked lost. The whole Fox News is saying he's a loser. They're saying DeSantis is the future. You cannot. This guy, he's got to be on suicide watch. I mean, I know he probably won't kill himself because he loves himself too much, but he might have a heart attack from stress. So I'm just saying, watch out for that. That's where we're at, man. It's. I don't know. Every day I live, I wonder how far are we from just collapsing as a society? And the answer is really, really not that much at any given time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we didn't even talk about probably the Nancy Pelosi thing, but Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked in his house by a guy with a hammer. Now, we haven't talked about this, right?
No.
Okay. And the right... Now, Fox News, once again, I'm not talking QAnon. I'm not talking crazy. I'm talking Fox News now, which to me is a traditional conservative news network, gets on there and says it was Paul Pelosi's gay lover that did this. And I'm like, bro, and they're making jokes about it. They're going around going, people are dressing up as him going and with a hammer. And so I'm like, bro, this guy could have been killed. This guy that was arrested who broke in the house said he was going to kidnap. His plan was to kidnap Nancy Pelosi and use a hammer on her until she told him the answers he wanted. About what? I have no idea. He was like a QAnon crazy guy. And all these conspiracy theories have spread about, he was a gay lover and all this stuff. I'm like, oh my God, bro. What a world. What a crazy world we live in. So there we go. Twitter. I mean, I'm staying on it to the end though. I want to be there as Titanic.
You want to see it burn?
Yeah. I mean, it's burning. I want to see it into the bottom of the ocean. Unless he has another game plan. I don't know, man. Those Saudi people, they may not be happy with him wasting their money. They've put a lot of money into this thing, brother. I mean, this is like Back to the Future stuff. Those guys want their money for that plutonium, and you know what happened to Doc Brown. You haven't watched Back to the Future. All right.
Spoiler alert.
I didn't say what happened to him. I just said watch it. That's spoiler alert on 8 levels. Okay. We're going to get into season finales. You told me before the show started, Quantum Leap, the reboot, the redo or whatever. You've watched it.
I watched just the first episode.
Okay, give us some quick initial thoughts, because I'm sure someone's out there listening.
It's lacking that heart that the first one had.
Really?
Yeah, it just seems like.
I mean, it was one episode.
I know, but even the first one, that there's something about. And I don't know if it's just the actor or what, but he had this wonder about him that you initially cared for him right away.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Dude, I will fight for Quantum Leap. I'm just saying, is it possible it gets better? You're saying no.
No, it has to be. It has to.
Oh, wow.
It has to get better.
Oh, my God. So is that bad? No, do you understand what you just said? You said it has to get better.
There's just too much content out there nowadays.
Yeah.
Where if something doesn't really grab somebody, people aren't going to watch it anymore.
I agree. Yeah.
And for me to be, and I really loved the original.
Right.
I was all in. For me to watch one episode and be like, and not even really be interested in it.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's not a good sign.
Well, there you go. I don't even know most people probably know this show exists, though. I was telling you. Like, the only reason I know is because I love Quantum Leap, and it's popped up on some YouTube thing, and I was
that's how I found it too.
Yeah, so I won't be watching it. And you know what? If I'm bored, maybe I'll watch one episode. But I've got too many things to watch, honestly.
I mean, we talked about the last episode. We talked about a little bit about the new Star Wars show, and it's kind of in the same vein.
It's bad. If
you like Star Wars, you're not definitely gonna be head over feet over Andor.
Adam Pewett's in the chat where he was, and I want to bring something else he said, but I would be very curious what he thinks about Star Wars, because he generally says if no Jedis are in it, it sucks. Hey, it's hard to argue that. I mean, I'm just saying, I get what he's saying. So I didn't come around on The Mandalorian like a year and a half later. So maybe I'll try this again. Maybe I got to be in the right mood. I would just say with your phone and everything else going on, a show really has to capture your attention.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it really needs to get you.
You're right. You nailed it. I do want to say this. Adam Pewitt sent me a text the other day, and then this is weird, John. He said, "Hey," so I'll just read the text because I don't want to. He stands by the Star Wars. So hey, I mean, I'm not. I thought Solo was all right. I don't know what John thought about Solo.
I didn't watch Solo yet.
You've never seen the movie Solo?
I have not seen it.
Wow. That's crazy. Okay. This is from Adam Pewitt. This was from Tuesday, 3:38 p.m. This is going to blow your mind, brother. I've been thinking about this nonstop. I just saw either a teenager or early girl in her 20s wearing a Blame Your Brother shirt at Walmart in Spring Hill. I'm assuming it's Spring Hill. That's where we both live. I said, what? That's bizarre. He said, yep, a blue one. I don't know who that is. I've looked at the pictures that I took initially when people sent me pictures of them wearing the shirts. I don't really have any blue ones. I know I sent out a bunch of pictures. Some people did not take pictures. So if you listen to this program, if you're one of the 35 people that still listen, are you or do you know who was wearing that shirt in Spring Hill? John, that's weird to me.
It is weird.
I mean, I don't know of any listeners in Spring Hill. I mean, I don't know. I don't have the mailing list of who I sent it to, but I didn't know of anyone. Maybe there was someone there, but I can't remember. Well, anyways, if that was you, I'd love to know who you are. I would, because I go to that Walmart. If I would have seen that person, I would have probably just passed out. I mean, that would be really weird, you know? So anyway, that's you. Let us know. Let's get to it, John. TV show finales. So a lot of pressure on these shows.
There it was, yeah.
You know, there's a lot of pressure to deliver the goods. Sometimes they do it.
Sometimes they don't.
Sometimes they don't. But I would think the majority of the time they do it. I think it's really rare that they don't. I mean, we'll get into this. I'm sure we're going to discuss many of them. But we're going to list. We're both going to list our top 4 like impactful season finales. So who goes first this week?
I think you do.
All right. Well, let's just get I'll just get the obvious one out of the way. I'm not going to do my favorite one, and I hope you don't grab it, but you might, and so we can discuss it. But you got to go Sopranos at number 1. I mean, come on, bro. That's the one that really started all of it, right? I mean, in the modern era. I know there's stuff back before that we may discuss. But in the modern era of golden television viewing, all these great shows that emerge, Sopranos was the one where everyone was still watching it as it happened. And it got a lot of...
I think it's the biggest, the first biggest premium show.
Yeah.
That people really, really got sucked into.
And it was polarizing, to say the least.
Yeah.
Some people love it. Some people hate it. Here's what I'll say. I did not watch Sopranos when it aired, but I did get into it a couple years later. It is one of the greatest shows that's ever been put on TV, without a doubt. It's captivating. It's great. It's the characters develop over. It's amazing. It's one of those shows where you're watching it, and you go, I really don't want any of these people to succeed because they're all terrible people. But I got to watch them, you know. And I watched the ending, and
there was a lot of shows like that on lists that I looked into.
Well, I think that's one of the first ones though that ushered that in.
Yeah.
If you really think about before that, I don't know of one. After that, I can probably name you 10. Yeah. Right? The anti-hero, the villains, essentially. I mean, I wouldn't even call them anti-heroes. Tony Soprano is a villain. Yeah. I mean, he's a mobster that kills people. So I already knew the ending when I watched it. I will say this. I don't know how else you would end a show like that. I'm not one that necessarily needs a definitive ending. This has to happen. I thought that ending was great for that show because that's a world... the mobster world never really ends.
Was there an episode where you knew exactly what was going to happen at the end? Probably not.
No, right? Because
so that's fitting,
right? And I thought it was great, and it messed with people. And it was I've listened to interviews with the guy, and he said, "Oh, I didn't do that on purpose." I feel like he was messing with people, which is his right. I mean, he wrote this amazing show. If he wants to throw a little wink at you at the end, you can do it. If you don't know what the ending is, basically, I mean, if you haven't watched the show by now and you don't know about this, I don't know how you exist in this world. But anyways, Tony Soprano, he survives. A lot of people die. I won't tell you all the people die because you can go back and watch it. But obviously, people die, and it's him and his family in a diner, and Journey starts playing "Don't Stop Believing," and then it cuts to black, and show's over. No. And everybody's like, "Well, did Tony die?" Because a lot of people died on that last episode, and it's like, I don't know. Did he? Ambiguity can be cool. I like that ending. Once again, I don't need to see Tony Soprano shot in the back of the head, bro. I mean, do I need to see that? Nah, I didn't really. Anyway, so Sopranos is my number 1. So, all right. What's your number 1, John?
I think it's going to be obvious. I did not watch this show while it was airing, but did get into it later. One of the greatest shows on TV.
Oh, no.
Period. Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay. Whew. Good, because I got a soliloquy for my next one. Yes, yes, obviously. Yeah. I would argue that Breaking Bad is a better ending than Sopranos, but then I would argue without Sopranos, I don't think there is a Breaking Bad ending. So it's kind of a, one begat the other. Breaking Bad may be as far as definitive things happening, it may be one of the best endings ever. I mean,
it's up there.
If we were just saying best endings, I would have had Breaking Bad number 1. Yeah. There's other shows I like the endings of. Nothing is as good as Breaking Bad. No. I don't know. We really can't get into it too much, can we? I mean, you got to tread lightly on this one, right? I mean,
you got aspects of Walter White's character, period. That whole
that's Breaking
anti-hero villain.
Yes. Well, Breaking Bad, if you don't know.
At that point in time, you don't know what he is. I mean, he's a villain at the end.
I would love to talk about this. Well, obviously, we're running out of episodes, but here's the thing. Breaking Bad's a show about a guy who has cancer, so he is a high school chemist. He starts making meth to basically
raise money so his family can be taken care of.
allegedly. That's why he was doing it. Anyway, so then he becomes basically
a kingpin.
The kingpin, not a kingpin, the kingpin, you know. And it basically follows the struggle. So, yes, so then he gets involved with a bunch of Nazis and all this crazy stuff happens. And like I said, I don't want to give away the ending. But I thought it was just, you cannot write a better ending than that. I will not probably have Better Call Saul on my list, but I feel it's the same way. I felt, and you could probably put these shows as the same thing, but I think it's the perfect ending. I mean, what else would you want? I think for Better Call Saul, I think that was about as good as it could be. And for Breaking Bad, it was as good as it could be. And I always said it has to end like that. I used to say that while I was watching it. It has to end like that. It has to. I mean, this is one of the greatest shows of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's potentially the greatest show of all time. I mean, it's crazy we're alive when this came on, bro. Can you imagine? Like I got to witness it live in real time while I was having it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a good one, though. I mean, anything else? I mean, it's so great. It doesn't spoon feed you, but it completes the whole series for you.
Yeah.
But it still allows for room for other series to grow out of it, which is great too.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's a good one. All right, let me just go. There is a woman in this world that I am enamored with. And it's because of this series I'm about to talk about. Breaking Bad may be the best, and Sopranos may be the most talked about. But we got to talk about Carrie Coon and The Leftovers. The Leftovers.
That was yeah.
The Leftovers. Hey, if you've never watched this, stop listening to this now and go find it and watch it. It is one of my 5 favorite series of all time, without a doubt. Stars Justin Theroux, and at the time I did not know it, but Carrie Coon, the greatest actress, my favorite actress, without a doubt. This show is crazy. This show starts off with the concept that 1% or
3%,
whatever,
3% of the world disappears. And it follows these people who have been affected by loved ones missing, and just what the world would be like. God, just the idea there, I'm in. Like, I love it. And Carrie Coon, what is not even a main player to me on the first episode, I don't think. I mean, I don't remember her. It was Justin Theroux's show. Yeah.
And once she got involved, it was her show. Her acting, I went back and rewatched it, Sean. Her acting
it's on point.
On this series finale is some of the best acting I've ever seen in my life. It is a close-up shot of her talking for 4 minutes. Do you understand? This is how this show essentially ended, with her telling a story for 4 minutes. I've never seen anything so captivating in my life. You want ambiguity? This is one of the most ambiguous endings of all time. If you watch Leftovers, there are debates still to this day about the story.
Yeah.
And I think it says a lot about you as a person, which side you believe on. Are you a cynic? Are you a believer? I think that was kind of the whole point of the show, right? I mean, at some point. And Carrie Coon, I just can't speak enough about this show. I could watch I'm going to rewatch the series. I have to. Because I watched the ending today and I got goosebumps again. Yeah. And how great she is. I'll watch anything she's in. I don't care. The new Ghostbusters, I'll watch it. Is she wasted in that? Yeah, probably. You got to get paid. But Leftovers, I feel that was the perfect ending to a series. Oh my God. It's just the best. I was like, God, you started talking, I was like, oh my God, did he put Leftovers at number 1? I was like, I hope not. But anyway, Leftovers, my number 2. Just because of Carrie Coon. I wish I could speak more of it, but I don't think a lot of people have seen it. Yeah. And I don't want to ruin it for them, Because that last episode is crazy, John.
The most well-known actor in the whole thing is probably Liv Tyler.
Oh, she is in it, isn't she?
And you forget that's Liv Tyler.
I just forgot she was even in it because...
Yeah.
Dude, Carrie Coon, greatest.
Yeah, and so, just thinking about that aspect is just...
Yeah. Please go watch The Leftovers if you've never watched it. I'm going to rewatch it. I've got to. Anyways, okay. All right, John, you're up to number 2.
There is a trope, and that was created for series finales.
Okay.
And it's done over and over and over again.
There we go.
But there is one that did it the best.
I knew you'd go in this.
And I'm going with Newhart.
Newhart, which is, you're right. Yeah, go ahead. Explain what happens.
So.
Did you watch any episodes of Newhart ever?
I did.
What? That's such an old man show.
It was.
I've never watched a single episode.
But.
Is that Daryl and Daryl?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I've obviously watched episodes. Anyways, okay.
So the whole series is about this guy. He owns this inn in Vermont, and the hijinks ensue.
It's comedy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last episode is this Japanese firm is coming in, and they're buying out the whole town basically.
Okay.
And he's trying to stand firm. We're not selling.
Right.
I mean, and they're like, that's fine. We'll buy everything else and just build around you. And so it has this flash forward, and everybody who's even working there is pretending to be Japanese just so he could keep owning the place.
Right.
Then all of a sudden he wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, honey, I had this crazy dream. The thing is this was not Bob Newhart's first show. He had another show called The Bob Newhart Show.
Mm-hmm.
When he says, honey, wake up, I had this crazy dream, his wife rolls over, and it's the wife from the first show.
It's pretty epic. I mean, truthfully. I mean.
And so the whole series was a dream.
Now,
and so
there's another show that did that, and people were not happy with. But and look.
And there are aspects that are similar to that as well.
I can understand. Is that show on your list? The other one, St.
No.
Elsewhere? Okay, well, let's talk about that. It's not on my list. Okay, a comedy doing that, I understand. It's funny.
It's funny.
It's meta. It's very meta. I mean,
very
it's
meta.
like it's like some Andy Kaufman stuff.
But the fact that it tied into his own
yes,
show is even better.
Well, that's what. If it was just some random lady, it would be nothing.
Yeah.
The fact that it's literally it's saying this whole thing was fake.
Yeah.
And it's meta. Like, yeah, of course it's fake. You know, St. Elsewhere did this like to a varying degree, where the entire. Now, St. Elsewhere is a drama. It's no comedy.
It's a drama. It's a.
I mean, people
hospital show.
People were invested in these characters, brother.
Yeah.
And you find out in the last episode that this universe exists in a snow globe.
In this heavily autistic kid's mind.
And people were upset.
Here's another thing: is they had spinoffs. Characters that were on that show.
Oh, really?
Appeared on other shows. So. Are you saying that those other shows are also in this kid's mind?
Oh, essentially, yeah. There's been whole podcasts about this. Dude. There's like entire YouTube series about it. But anyways, the Newhart show did it the best. You know.
Yes.
So that's good. Okay, good. I knew you'd have it on there. All right, number 3, you got to go with the show I watched. And look, people said it sucks. I don't think it's that bad because I rewatched the show recently. And I think we live in bias at the time. I think we want the ending of a show to be so good. When it's not what we want it to be, we think it sucks. But I went back and rewatched it during the pandemic. Lost is the show I'm talking about. I love Lost. We would have band practice on the nights sometimes, John, when this would air, and I would have to rush home to get to watch it. I was like speeding to get home because this was VCR days, bro. This wasn't DVR days. You missed it, you're done.
Yeah.
And yes, I think everyone that watched that show at the time watched the final episode. Now, it's hard to explain this show, but this show is about people that crash on an island. There's flashbacks to who they were, flash forwards to who they would be. And so the last season was flash sideways, and everybody was trying to figure out, like, why are we doing these flash sideways? It's even weird in me trying to describe it. But, I mean, a flashback, obviously, is you know what a flashback is. It's, your life before, and flash forward, what your life's going to be. I thought it was really clever when they did, like, season 3 or 4. I was like, that's cool, flash forward. I figured it out. In real time, I told my wife, I go, oh, this is the future. This is. She went, what do you mean? I go, I'm telling you, this is not, because it followed Jack, who's the main guy. I was like, this has not happened before. Something's not. So anyway, but the flash sideways turns out was them in essentially the waiting room toward heaven,
purgatory,
whatever. They were in a waiting room for the afterlife. People didn't like it, but you know what? I mean, go back and watch the show, brother. There's a guy named Jacob fighting a guy that's the smoke monster. I don't even know what his name is anymore. What's his freaking name?
They didn't know
the bad man, whatever the heck he's called.
Man in Black.
The Man in Black. Here you go. I mean, come on. There's monsters and there's demons come on. You're upset that they were in the afterlife. Give me a break, dude.
I'll tell you why people were upset.
Why?
Lost, as a show,
Yeah.
presented a puzzle that people wanted to figure out.
Yes, that's true.
And by the end, there were pieces that were not filled in. And so whatever you guessed was wrong.
That's fair.
Because they had a lot of like lead-ins to Egyptian deities. And so a lot of people, including myself, when I was watching it, I didn't get in until the 4th season.
Okay.
But I caught up with my buddies that were watching it. And so we were all watching it together at that point. But that's where I was going with it. I was like, I was looking up like Egyptian gods and stuff, trying to figure out, okay, is Jacob this person? Is he Osiris? Is this person?
Right. Well, you nerds got into it too much. I thought, and look, the flashbacks were amazing.
Yeah.
The flash forwards, dope, dude.
If there wasn't certain aspects of this show that weren't really like, wow.
Right. And I feel people wanted that same cleverness that they got from the Flash. Because the first flashback some of those were crazy,
The
dude.
best one was about John Locke.
Oh.
Dude,
that's one of the best ones
ever.
ever.
That's the best one.
Yes. And the flash forward with Jack. So I think people wanted that clever with the Flash sideways. Brother, what would you want them to do?
No.
What do you want them to do, man? I stand by it. But people talked about it, brother. That was big talk when it came out.
I mean, if we're talking about legacy and memorable finales, then this belongs on a list.
Oh, for sure. All right.
So, yes, I back you up 100%.
You're number 3.
My number 3 is a show.
I like to try to guess John's. Because I do not know John's, by the way. So anytime you ever hear me guess it before he says it, I'm really
This is a legit guess.
Okay.
Yeah. This show, when people were watching the first few seasons of it, they thought it was about a guy and a girl. And, that girl moved on. She wasn't on the show anymore. Then they brought up a new girl, and everyone thought it was about this
John.
But it wasn't.
This show's garbage, man.
This show, what show?
How I Met Your Mother.
No. Wrong. Incorrect.
Okay, keep going then.
The show was never about a guy and a girl. It was about a guy and his true love, his bar. Cheers.
Oh, look at you. Cheers.
Cheers. I loved the show.
Is that really what I did not really watch. Obviously, I did not watch
the very
Cheers.
last episode.
Yeah.
Diane Chambers, played by Shelley Long, came back.
Okay. That was his first love.
That
right?
was and people thought, okay, this is gonna and Sam was gonna give up the bar and be with her, and then he's like, no, this is what I want. This is not what I want. And he just had one last shebang with the core members, Norm, Fraser, Cliff, the people that were there for the most part. And the very last scene, as he's cleaning up and someone's trying to get in the bar, and he's like, sorry, we're closed.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's very...
Yeah,
it was a great way to tie it all together, and everybody wondered because Shelley Long's departure from the show was so abrupt. The fact that they brought her back, everyone was, when you're watching it, you're like, oh, this is how.
Oh, right.
And no, it's not. It wasn't about her. It was about Sam.
They didn't get together
and the bar. No.
Shelley Long at the time, Shelley Long or
Christy Alley.
Which one? You?
I like Shelley Long better.
I was in love with Christy Alley back in. I mean, I thought she was just the beastie. Now, I did not watch Cheers on regular. I mean, I don't know how you... When are you watching these shows, John? We were like 5 years old when this show came out, dude. When did this show come out? In the 80s, right?
Yeah, in the late 80s. I was...
Late?
Yeah.
What?
We have the internet at our fingertips.
Well, you're right, because... I hear it.
Fraser picked up right. Yeah,
you're right. So I guess it was Cheers. Okay, let's see. 1982.
2.
John, you were 5 years old when this thing was coming out.
How-
No, the season finale was in 93.
That's what I'm saying. Is
Okay, but you didn't watch the entire series.
everything on my list so far I didn't watch from the beginning. I caught up later.
Okay. You've watched every episode of Cheers?
If I haven't, it's close.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay. Well, that's good. I've heard good thing. I've heard about the ending before, obviously.
I mean, and if we were doing a list of catchy theme songs, it'd probably be on my list too.
Have we not?
I don't know if we have.
That's a number 1 or 2 at least. I mean, everyone knows that
Yeah.
song. It's in commercials now.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers. All right, let's wrap up. Let me get my last one here. I'm just gonna go. Man, I've got so many good ones here, but I'm gonna go with the one that impacted me the most. I'm not sure you've watched this show, but man, I really got 2 options. I got to go. Mr. Robot is a fantastic, amazing show that explores it's almost hard to explain. It's about a hacker. I can't really say. I don't want to say too much, man, because the season finale of this show is a mystery the entire time. You're trying to figure out who is this person, what is the tie into this person. It's got a Christian Slater. It's got a
Rami Malek.
Yeah, and they're the 2 main guys. And have you watched Mr. Robot?
I haven't. I need to.
Oh my God, the ending was so.
What is it on now?
I don't know. That's a good question. It was on USA. Oh, I watched this, dude. This was my show. And it's one of those shows I can't talk about the ending, but the ending it will blow your mind. It's so crazy because, like I said, it's hard to talk about. If I talk about any part of it, it will ruin most of it. But essentially, it's got elements of Fight Club in it, in a sense. It's got elements of like Anonymous definitely in it. It's just a fantastic show. It's about a hacker trying to just destroy society, but the ending explains everything, and I can't really talk about it without giving any of it away. But if you've watched it, you know, us Mr. Robot diehards loved it. I thought about the ending for months. I still think about it. It's so trippy. So if you ever watch it, we have to talk about it. Mr. Robot. That's my last one. All right, John, your last one.
My last one is, I can guarantee it's probably not going to be on almost anybody's list because it's a cartoon.
Okay.
And it's the Amazing Spider-Man the animated series.
Wow. Okay.
The last,
What happened?
I guess, one about 7 or 8 seasons, not seasons, 7 or 8 episodes, was pretty much kind of like a Spider-Verse storyline.
Okay, you've talked about this before.
Where he was going to different universes and meeting other versions of him.
Yeah.
And so the very last universe he goes to, the version of him is an actor. He doesn't have powers.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And he goes into our world. It's still a cartoon, but
I understand.
and he meets Stan Lee. And he takes Stan Lee around the New York and
so this is like the original Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah.
Like this is before.
Well, no. There were cameos of Stan Lee beforehand.
Not like that. You're describing like he's an active, like he's part of the storyline. He's been in storylines.
He's definitely in the storyline. Yeah.
He hasn't been in storylines before like that and other movies or TV. I mean,
not really. Then
yeah,
I guess
what
you're
other
right.
shows are you talking about? Like, Stan. Yeah, I mean, yes, but I think that's.
Stan Lee goes back to the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you got a point. Anyway, that's okay. So
But this is I guess the first time he's playing himself.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. This is one of the first instances of Stan Lee,
Yeah.
the guy, being in the show.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And so I just thought that I thought it was a good love letter to him, but also
for sure.
Just being a Spider-Man fan and knowing, obviously there's not a Spider. I mean, people don't have superpowers, but if in some reality out there, if there was a multiverse, there could be someone out there that had those powers and it connected you in some way, and I thought that was neat.
No, that's cool. Yeah. I've heard good things. I've heard good things about the series. All right, let's run down the list. I'll run over a few we didn't get to. I had Sopranos, The Leftovers, Lost, Mr. Robot. John had Breaking Bad, Newhart, Cheers, and Amazing Spider-Man animated series. I am disappointed I did not get to say Veep, which is fantastic comedy. The Wire, which is really good. The Good Place, which I almost put The Good Place. That's a very good ending. BoJack Horseman animated. That's a really good series. And Mad Men were kind of the ones I would highlight. What about you?
Some of the ones that didn't mention the good ones. Avatar: The Last Airbender. As far as cartoons go, you mentioned The Wire. Things that were not so great. Seinfeld, Quantum Leap.
I don't know about Seinfeld.
Westworld. And
Westworld's still happening. You can't put that on there. It's an active series.
I know, but it took such a long break.
That come on, John. It's still going. There's a season right now.
Well, that's why it's not on my list. It's just an honorable mention.
I tried to watch it, dude, and I was like, I don't even know what the hell is going on in this show. I was like,
it feels like I'd have to rewatch it.
The entire thing. I watched the new season, but I was like, I don't even know who's who. I don't even know who these people are anymore.
That's what I'm saying. It's such a long break. It felt like that other the way it tied up, it seemed like
Let's just call it. Season 1 was great. The rest of it's garbage. And
Oh,
no
yeah,
one
I
else
agree.
wants to say that because
Oh,
people are tied into it.
People don't want to invest their time in something and then find out that it was garbage.
Yes, you're right. And sometimes you just have to go, I'm out. Season 2, I'm not watching this crap anymore.
Yeah. And on that same vibe, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I never watched it. I know people are disappointed with the ending because they wanted their guy or girl to win anyways. MASH. Lynn,
MASH, yeah.
Obviously we're dopes for not listing MASH. I mean, that is, but I never, my goal, I told John, I'll only list the series that I actually watched.
Yeah,
so.
same here.
So, yeah, sorry. We didn't watch MASH. I heard it's great. All right, well, that was that, man. It was a fun list. So let us know what some of yours would be. Thank you guys for showing up in the chat. Always being active. Always makes it cool. And like I said, this is episode 297. We have basically 298, 299, and then 300, and we're done. What we'd like to do for episode 299, if you're still listening, is we'd love your voicemails. And right now I've got 3 or 4. That's sad.
Yeah.
I would like a lot more. I would like 299 to be me and John just looking back at, just whatever. Because the one with Lee, I envision it's going to be like a lot of us just, I don't know, man, just closing shop like Sam with the bar, And we have not talked to Lee on this show since he left.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that?
2 years ago.
Is that crazy?
Yeah.
I've never even really had a talk with him in person about a lot of it.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting. But anyway.
Almost exactly 2 years ago.
Yeah. It's crazy, ain't it?
Yeah.
Anyway. So leave us a voicemail. I've got in our socials what it is, or just send it to us on social media. We've had people, you can send us a video, you can send us audio only. There's a voicemail I got set up. So just do it. We'd love to play a bunch of, just send us off, man. Just give us your parting shots. You can take shots at us or tell us what the show meant to you. And I'll keep checking with everybody. And if you were that lady at Walmart in Spring Hill, let us know. I'm curious. Maybe that's like the lost puzzle that never gets solved. We'll never know who that person was. But anyway, we're on social media. So come hang out with us until Twitter dies a fiery death with Elon at the helm. Send us messages. bybpod.com is the website. Go check it out. Let us know all your favorites. Come join us for next week's episode. It's going to be fun. And with all of that being said, John, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.
Peace.